Are you ready to witness the rise of a new legend in tennis? Just 2 years ago, Carlos Alcaraz was a rising star, fighting his way to be noticed. Today, he's shattered records and dethroned legends to become the youngest world number 1 in history. If you love epic underdog stories, game-changing moments, and the thrill of witnessing greatness in the making, then this is your video. Hit that like button and subscribe right now. Don't miss out as we take you on a journey through Alcaraz's meteoric rise and how he's redefining tennis history. Carlos Alcaraz was born in El Palmar, Spain, a small town known more for its charm than producing world-class athletes. From an early age, it was clear Carlos was no ordinary kid. At just 4 years old, he picked up a tennis racket, and from that moment on, his passion was undeniable. His father, a tennis coach and club administrator, recognized the spark in his son's eyes. But talent alone isn't enough. The road ahead was filled with sweat, tears, and sacrifice. The Alcaraz family faced financial struggles. Tennis can be an incredibly costly sport, with travel, coaching fees, and equipment piling up fast. Yet, the family pressed on, believing in Carlos's potential. Everything changed when Alfonso Lopez Rueda, president of a local cake and yogurt firm called Postres Run, decided to invest in young Carlos. Thanks to Rueda's support, Carlos could compete in regional and international tournaments, gaining invaluable exposure and experience. As Carlos climbed the ranks, he wore Postres Run's emblem proudly on his jerseys, a symbol of loyalty and gratitude. But sponsorship alone couldn't carry him. It was his relentless drive that set him apart. Even as a child, he would cry when matches didn't go his way, refusing to leave the court until he'd learned something new. By age 15, Carlos caught the eye of Juan Carlos Ferrero, a former world number 1 in Spanish tennis legend. Ferrero saw Carlos's raw talent but also his volatility and flashes of temper. Under Ferrero's tough love guidance, Carlos transformed, learning discipline, strategy, and how to channel his fiery energy into precision on the court. Training sessions were grueling. Ferrero's job was to push Carlos to his physical and mental limits, and Carlos thrived. The transformation was fast. Within a few years, Carlos transitioned from a promising junior to a true ATP contender, breaking into the top 100 and making waves. One memorable match was when he defeated seasoned veteran Richard Gasquet in 2021. The victory not only showcased his raw talent but signaled that a new era in tennis was dawning. Ferrero commented, "With Carlos, it's not just about power. It's his adaptability, his court awareness, and his ability to learn quickly that sets him apart." The path to greatness isn't linear. Alcaraz faced setbacks, from defeats to injuries. But each time, he got back up, stronger and smarter. In 2021, he made serious waves, defeating seasoned pros with his mix of power, finesse, and unpredictable play. His ability to read the game and adapt on the fly set him apart. Winning his first ATP title was a turning point. Commentators compared him to legends like Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic, praising his determination and spirit. But Carlos's true secret weapon is his adaptability. Whether on clay, grass, or hard court, he leaves opponents scrambling. His rapid rise, victory after victory, captured fans worldwide. Alcaraz's game has often been described as a blend of past greats. He has Nadal's fighting spirit, Federer's elegance, and Djokovic's precision. This combination makes him a formidable opponent who refuses to be predictable. Many believe he's the heir to the Big Three's legacy, but with a style uniquely his own. 2023 became a defining year. Entering Wimbledon as an underdog, Alcaraz shocked the world by defeating Novak Djokovic, a 7-time champion, in a breathtaking final. This wasn't just a victory, it was a seismic shift in tennis history. The Big Three's era had been broken. Alcaraz's victory was more than just a milestone. It represented a generational change, signaling that tennis was ready to embrace new champions. Even Djokovic acknowledged Alcaraz's brilliance, praising his skill, mental toughness, and maturity. Alcaraz didn't just take the trophy, he announced a new era of tennis. His performance at Wimbledon captivated millions. Every shot, every rally was electric. Alcaraz showcased his uncanny ability to stay composed under immense pressure, a trait that defines true champions. For many fans, this was the moment when they realized they were witnessing the dawn of a new tennis legend. But beyond trophies, Carlos Alcaraz remains grounded. He returns to El Palmar, reconnecting with childhood friends, playing board games, and staying true to his roots. He's also a philanthropist, supporting individuals with Down syndrome through his foundation. His interests stretch beyond tennis. He's even ventured into fashion, becoming the face of a Calvin Klein campaign. But deep down, Carlos is still the same kid who loved hitting balls with boundless passion. Only now, the stakes are much higher. Alcaraz's humility and commitment to his roots make him a fan favorite. He often emphasizes the importance of family, friends, and community, reminding everyone that despite his success, he hasn't forgotten where he came from. This authenticity is what endears him to so many. At just 22, Alcaraz has already achieved more than many do in a lifetime. But what's next? Can he dominate like the big three? The world is watching, and if history is any guide, he thrives under pressure. In interviews, Alcaraz has made it clear that he's hungry for more. He's not content with just a few titles. He wants to be remembered as one of the greatest. His work ethic, drive, and passion for the sport make it likely that he'll continue breaking records and achieving new milestones. He's not just a champion, he's a game changer. The future is bright, and we're all lucky to witness his journey. Carlos Alcaraz represents the spirit of a new generation of players, talented, driven, and ready to take on any challenge. To fully understand Alcaraz's potential, let's reflect on the impact of previous tennis legends. The big three, Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, didn't just win titles. They redefined what it meant to be a champion. Alcaraz stands on their shoulders, but he's also carving a path entirely his own. His aggressive baseline play, lightning speed, and mental toughness evoke memories of past champions while signaling a fresh era. Consider this: in an age where sports have become more data-driven, Alcaraz blends instinct with strategy. He studies opponents meticulously but relies on his intuition in critical moments. This mix of old-school grit and modern tactics makes him both dangerous and exciting to watch. Fans never know what to expect, and that's what makes him electrifying. The tennis world is evolving, and Alcaraz is leading the charge. New rivalries are brewing, fresh challenges are emerging, and every match has the potential to shape the future of the sport. Whether it's his battles on clay or his victories on grass, Alcaraz approaches each game with a hunger that sets him apart. It's this hunger that makes him special. As fans, we have a front-row seat to history in the making. We're not just witnessing a champion, we're seeing the transformation of tennis itself. And this journey is far from over. Carlos Alcaraz's story is one of passion, grit, and relentless pursuit of greatness. The world is watching, but what about you? Will you be there to see him redefine history? Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning. Join us as we continue to follow every serve, every victory, and every moment that makes this young king of tennis a living legend. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
It's time to talk about the man who's got the entire tennis world buzzing, Carlos Alcaraz. Last week, he fell to Jack Draper in straight sets at the Queen's Club Championships. That loss ended a 13-match winning streak on grass, and yeah, it means if Djokovic plays Wimbledon, Alcaraz won't be the second seed. But let's be real, this isn't just about one match. Alcaraz has been on everyone's lips ever since his crazy Roland Garros title run. Everyone, and I mean everyone, has a take. Some of it makes sense, some of it's pure head-scratching stuff. So, today we're diving deep into what tennis legends really think about Carlos Alcaraz, the good, the bad, and the just plain wild. First up, let's talk about Boris Becker, a legend who knows a thing or two about breaking records. After Alcaraz's victory over Zverev in the French Open final, Becker didn't hold back. He said, "In my eyes, Alcaraz is better at 21 than Nadal, Djokovic, or Federer were at the same age." Wow! Let that sink in for a moment. We're talking about a player being seen as better than the big three at his age by someone who's been at the pinnacle of the game. But is he right? Statistically, Alcaraz is ahead of Federer and Djokovic at 21, and even Rafa's a close call. The kid's already got a surface slam under his belt, Nadal did it at 22, Federer at 28, and Djokovic only in 2016. Now, it's important to remember there's a lot more than just stats to consider. Comparing across different eras is tricky. From 2005 to 2022, Roland Garros was basically a fortress guarded by Nadal. If you weren't named Novak Djokovic, your chances of beating Rafa were near zero. So yeah, you could argue winning the French Open now isn't as tough as it was 15 years ago. But does that take away from Alcaraz's achievements? Not a chance. Speaking of achievements, Alcaraz's top 10 win percentage at 21 is another feather in his cap. He's only behind Nadal. And let's be honest, it's hard to find anyone who doesn't think Alcaraz is a generational talent. But what about that fancy playing style of his? Mats Wilander recently suggested that Alcaraz will become almost unbeatable if he tones it down a bit. Alcaraz is flashy, no doubt, he loves those highlight reel shots. But when it came to winning the French Open, he showed he could play ugly if he had to, moonballs, defensive cross-court rallies, whatever it took. The big question is, would you want him to change? I'm not sure I would. But sometimes, strategic grit beats flashy shots. Agree or disagree? Hit that like button if you think Alcaraz should keep his attacking style. Let's pivot to another hot topic, Alcaraz and his coach, Juan Carlos Ferrero. Some critics have been quick to point out that without Ferrero, Alcaraz can look lost. Is that fair? Sure, he had a tough loss to Jack Draper recently, and earlier this year, Sasha Zverev got the best of him in Australia. But hold up. Draper was relentless, peppering Alcaraz's backhand with his lefty forehand, and that was a strategic play. The data doesn't lie, Alcaraz's steal score was only 20% compared to his usual 40.9%. That's a massive dip, but it's not all on Ferrero being absent. It's part of the learning curve. Still, some fans insist that without Ferrero's guidance, Alcaraz's problem-solving isn't quite there. But let's not forget, he's 21. Experience matters. Give the man time. So, with Wimbledon around the corner, Alcaraz has 2,000 points to defend. Historically, defending titles isn't easy. Laura Robson, the former British number 1, is betting on Jannik Sinner to win. Do you think that's bold? Alcaraz is still a top contender in any Grand Slam he plays. But consistency will be key, and, as always, staying healthy is crucial. Let's not ignore his partnership with Nadal for the Olympics doubles. It's a dream team we never knew we needed. Will they succeed? Who knows, but tennis fans everywhere will be glued to their screens. Now, let's address the criticism. Some folks say Alcaraz has a low tennis IQ because he follows Ferrero's game plans too closely. But is that really true? Ferrero himself has said that Alcaraz sometimes struggles to execute their plans in the heat of the moment, but he's not just a puppet on strings. Alcaraz has won tournaments without Ferrero, proving he can stand on his own. As he gains experience, he'll fine-tune his game and decision-making. Remember what Djokovic said? He called Alcaraz the most complete player he's faced. High praise from one of the greatest. Speaking of the big three, will Alcaraz surpass them? It's way too early to say. But at his current pace of one slam per year, double-digit Grand Slam titles seem possible. Health will be a major factor, and every match adds to his legacy. But what do you think? How many slams will he finish with? Comment below. Before we wrap up, let's talk surfaces. Michael Chang once said Alcaraz isn't your typical Spanish player. He's aggressive, attacks the net, and moves like an athlete from another dimension. His game isn't tied to one surface. Sure, he grew up on clay, but his adaptability has made him a force on every court. Which surface suits him best? Let's hear your thoughts. Alright, that's all for today. I want to know what you think about Carlos Alcaraz. Will he dominate Wimbledon? Can he handle the pressure without Federer? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you enjoyed this, and hit subscribe for more deep dives into the world of tennis. And if you missed last week's videos, no worries, they're right here waiting for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.